Bonjour mon petit chiflier, Amber here. Happy May. Happy AAPI Heritage Month. I am finally sitting down. Not gonna lie to you, it is later in the month than it should be. We are farther in the month than I should be filming and posting this video. Bear with me. I've mentioned it several times. I'm struggling. I have been struggling for a while now. Mentally, but mostly physically. I have been dealing with a lot of exhaustion and just fatigue and lethargy and whatnot. So that is affecting all of my content, all of my uploading, all of my just desire to do anything. That being said, I'm finally sitting down to film my May TBR. I don't really film TBRs anymore unless it's specifically for a readathon. So as is tradition, the only readathon that I consistently keep up with anymore is the Asian readathon. I look forward to it every year. If you don't know, the Asian readathon, it was created by and is hosted by Cindy over with Cindy, formerly Read with Cindy. I've participated every year since its conception. So I am excited to share the books I have been reading and will be reading for the rest of this month. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have, no shock, been struggling to read as well. Struggling to read as well. That's why we're as far as we are into the month, and I've barely scratched the surface of my TBR. I will say, I'm sharing this TBR is in two parts. It's my priority reads, which are the reads that I was able to fit into the reading challenges, the prompts for the readathon, and then there are the additional books, which most likely high chance I won't get around to. But if I choose to switch up my TBR, which I have a couple times already, there are options to choose from. Okay, this year's challenge, this year's Asian readathon, is loosely based around Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I have not seen yet, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I look forward to seeing it as soon as possible. As always, you can combine challenges to fit use multiple challenges for a book. I don't know why I'm explaining this. By the time you see this, we'll already be like very well into May. There is also usually the additional challenge which is the one that I'm not going to, for this year, I'm not going to be like adhering to that challenge or trying to fit that to complete that challenge, because I had already had the books chosen for a very long time. Most of these are just priority reads for the whole year that were already on my TBR for 2022, and I had to fit and finagle them to make them work for the readathon itself. So anyway, I didn't say and that challenge is for every book, that every book on your TBR represents a different Asian ethnicity. I usually really try to meet that challenge, but this year it just isn't really working. Anyway, without further ado, let me stop talking. I've already talked too much. Okay, so the first prompt for the Asian readathon is to read a book written by an Asian author. All of the books I plan to read and have been reading in May are written by Asian authors. So completed, done, check. Okay, so prompt number 2 is read a book featuring an Asian character who is a woman and or older. So for that one, I have read Dating Dr. Do by Nisha Sharma. Main character is a woman, and also she is older than at least most of the characters in books that I read. Most of like the popular books featuring Asian characters are usually like YA fantasy type books, and she's older than our main character, is like just turned 30. So it's not like old, but it's older, you know? Next, we have number 3, we have read a book by an Asian author that has a universe you would want to experience, or a universe that is totally different than yours. That's most of them. And honestly most of these, because they're fantasy, are all universes that are different than mine. But because I just finished reading this book, I will say one that I wouldn't mind living in, because the other ones are kind of terrifying, or wouldn't mind experiencing, is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I had this set up for the challenge, the prompt after this, so you're going to see it again in a second. But I just finished reading this. I love Elizabeth Lim books. I love the world she creates, and this is the least scary of the worlds in the other books that I'm going to mention. There's like magic and like there are curses and demons and stuff, but like, you know, no big deal. So I'm gonna hold this because I'm gonna show you this in a second as well, because I'm using this book for this prompt as well. And it's read a book by an Asian author that has a cover worthy of googly eyes. So like a really pretty, beautiful cover. This cover, chef's kiss. Oh my god, this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm obsessed. And also the UK cover and the Fairy Loot cover, as well as like, honestly, I'm gonna show you all of these because okay, before I go into the rest, I'm gonna combine this, the googly eye cover, as well as read a book by an Asian author that has a high rating or was highly recommended by someone. And like all of these books I've heard nothing but amazing things about. They all have stunning covers. The next one is The Wild Ones by Nafiza Azzad. This cover is breathtaking. It's one of the pretty... Nafiza Azzad always gets the most beautiful covers. Her next book that's coming out, I think I'm going to start this one next, actually, because this is one of my top priority reads for this year. It was one for last year as well, and I never got around to it. And then we have Iron Widow by Xianjie Zhao, which definitely is a book that comes with the highest ratings and the most recommendations. Literally everyone I know that's read this book has told me I need to read this book ASAP, and it's just said it's absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to read this. I'm a little intimidated by it, I'm not gonna lie, especially with the way my head has been right now. I'm scared that like I can't handle all of this at this particular moment, but we'll see. I love this cover so much. And then last but not least, while I do like this cover, I'm definitely using this one more so for read a book by an Asian author that has a high rating or was highly recommended by someone. Is Our Violet Ends by Gong, which is the sequel to These Violent Delights, which is highly recommended by me personally. I started reading this, but because of the headspace that I'm currently in, I had to put it down, and that's when I picked up Six Crimson Cranes. I have heard really good things about this book, and just like the way it ends and wraps up the story. I'm also really nervous. I'm scared that I'm gonna have to reread book one, maybe download the audiobook. We'll see. Okay, so those are the books that I have set up for the Asian Readathon, and now just a few more books that I might pick up. I might swap out. So first and foremost, I have, if I don't read this book this month, I'm going to read it next month during Pride Month, and it's The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. If I do read this next month, it's going to be a priority read, and this will be like the only one I focus on because this is chunky. I've heard amazing things about this book, and this follows like it's like a sapphic story about a princess who is like being trapped by her brother or something, and she teams up with a maid who I think is also an oracle, and they're trying to like take down her corrupt brother. But we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. When I read this, I'm going to do a full spoilery vlog for it. I'm also doing one for These Violent Ends, Our Violent Ends. I'm so nervous to read this book. I'm trying to speed up because my camera's flashing. Then we have Crown of Feathers by Nikki which I've had forever, and realized I need to actually read this book and like see if I want to continue with the series. I've heard good things about this series as well. This is very underrated though. And then we have The Archer at Dawn by Swati Tirala and Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan, which are both sequels that I have started and put down for various reasons, and with the intent to pick back up. But I need to give a final chance to see if I'm going to actually continue, because the third book is out and I need till I want to complete the series because I loved book 1 so much, and I loved book 1 of this as well. This one I was like going into a slump, so I feel like I could try this again. I might have to reread book 1 though. So those are the books I plan to read this May, this AAPI Heritage Month. Let me know down below what you're reading this month, what you've read so far that you've loved. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.